One question I get asked all the time is about quiver tip choice. Now, quite often I take anglers out doing lessons, and the first rod that they get out of the old hole is they just use the quiver tip that's attached. It's important to pick the right size quiver tip. Today here at Lindholme Lakes I've been fishing for silverfish, just fishing with a straight lead, loose feeding maggots. And the bites, I've had bites virtually all the session, but it's been so important to have the right quiver tip in place. Back in the 1970s, Drennan was one of the first companies to start measuring quiver tips, and they used the old imperial measurements. Ounce quiver tips had an ounce bomb attached to the quiver tip that bent the quiver tip to 90 degrees. Same with a 3/4 ounce tip, just a 3/4 ounce bomb to bend the tip to 90 degrees, and so on and so forth. So each tip was accurate to the rods that we were using. Today, the water temperature here at Lindholme Lakes has been really cold, and there's even ice on the water as well. I've set up today two 9-foot rods, both for fishing a straight bomb, one with a 3/4 ounce quiver tip and one with a 2 ounce quiver tip. The 3/4 ounce tip is much softer and bends nicely through the blank of the quiver tip. The 2 ounce is much stronger. And today I've just loose fed maggots around about 15 metres and cast just past and drawn back into the maggots to tighten the quiver tip up. The bites on the 3/4 ounce quiver tip were much slower and gave you time to actually pick up the rod to hook the fish easily. As soon as I swapped over to the 2 ounce tips, the bites were completely different, and it almost cut my catch rate in half. I was catching very quickly using the 3/4 ounce tip. As soon as I dropped onto the 2 ounce tip, the bites were just more jerky, more jaggy, and very difficult to pick out which fish were on, and missed a lot of the bites, simply because the bites were completely wrong. As soon as I swapped back to the 3/4 ounce quiver tip, you could see that it just gave you extra time because the tip bent round very much slower, giving you time to pick up on the fish. Of course, with the 3/4 ounce quiver tip also, the fish don't feel the resistance the same, so you hook a lot more bites. Now, it doesn't matter whether I be fishing a straight lead like I've done today, loose feeding maggots, or fishing with a small feeder, fishing for silverfish like skimmers, roach, hide, any of them type of fish. The selection of the quiver tip is so important. The softer the quiver tip, the more bites you will hook. The rig that I've used was just a straight bomb onto a link sliding on the line. Here at Lindholme Lakes, everything, feeder or a bomb, has to be sliding. So I've just had a small link and a small 3/8 of an ounce bomb, and then a 40 centimetre hook length with just a red carp maggot hook in a size 16, just fishing a single red maggot on the hook. And I've caught a fish most cast in, apart from when I changed over to the heavier quiver tip, and the difference was just incredible today. To just experience having the right tip in place makes all the difference to your catch rate. Of course, it's not always as straightforward as just using the lightest quiver tip. There's times when you've got pull on the water, wind, and you know, you have to fish with slightly heavier tips in place. But just remember this, always fish with the lightest quiver tip that you can get away with.